Okay guys, today we're going to talk about the next piece of gear in the ground pounder series, and that is sort of like the haversack. This is a butt pack. Now originally when I started out I didn't have a lot of gear, and I had the poncho which served as my tarp and everything, and I had a US Army wool blanket that was my blanket, you know. And I had a few other pieces of gear, a canteen and a canteen cup set, that was about it. And as I needed more, I ended up with this haversack, and this is a US Army Vietnam issue, all green, still smells that same smell, green canvas haversack. Now on the back of it I've added a canteen strap. Now this is a general purpose strap that was issued for carrying the canteen and other loads and whatever. These things would be clipped onto bazookas, it was whatever, and all it is a nylon-y type strap with two clips and an adjustment so you could cinch it up tighter or looser or whatever. And the butt pack right here had two connections at the top up here where it would hook to the straps from your shoulder and the load bearing equipment called LBE under Alice. Yes, Gingy, I see you. And LBE would be that I would have a big heavy web belt. I would have a pair of suspenders yokes that went back, either connected to the belt, or the butt pack was hooked to the belt and it was hooked to this and allowed it to distribute the weight around my body, carrying load bearing equipment, LBE. Well, with just the strap on it, this becomes like a haversack. And this is one of the old green canvas ones. Now we're going to sit it down in just a second and look at it in detail. And when we do, I want you to realize that this idea kept going, because this is a 1980s or even early 1990s Condura type with the clips and all the things. This one's virtually brand new, and it's got the same connection point idea, except now it's got these straps that went to the top of the pack frame, so you could put these on an Alice pack. And a little later on we're going to be talking about how to carry butt packs as a viable component of making up your own pack, where I would take two butt packs and put a place to carry something else. But we'll get to that in a little bit later. Okay guys, just a quick addendum right quick. Remember that twisty cord I just showed you how to make? Well, here's another use for it. Now all this is that piece of paracord that I recently twisted up, and I showed you, me twisting it up and creating this spiral loop. Okay? Now I'm going to use it as a way to seal this up. So what I'm going to do is, leaving the knot end on that end, I'm going to take the opposite end and I'm going to roll it way up here. I'm going to take the tarp and I'm going to go around it. Okay? Now I'm going to pull it up, I'm going to twist it, let it twist naturally just like it wanted to. And then I'm going to take that end, I'm just simply going to tuck it under, like that, and come back through it itself, like that. Now that ain't going to unravel because that's twisting down onto itself. So it's now something I can get to hold a tarp or something like that, and it's just going to, under its own tension, keep pulling tighter and tighter like a bungee would do. And this is all still loaded. I can feel the twist in it, still pulling it, trying to pull tight. That should be just fine for me to put that in a pack, now shouldn't it? Okay, let's look at this as it would apply to modern bushcraft. Okay, we're going to look at the old original and we're going to look at the newer version as well. It has a top that is canvas with a quick grab handle up here. Now this quick grab handle is well secured, so you can put things up here and lash to this. It's also a handy thing to separate, like stick a raincoat under or whatever for something quick to grab. It does do that. This panel back here that's actually got plastic was originally supposed to have a name tag in it. We found it became a handy place. We'd put duct tape over where the plastic was if the plastic became cracked, and it just became a pouch of stuffing something up in there. Some sort of small or whatever, but this would be a good place to put like a micro fire kit or something like that. Just slide it in there so it wouldn't come out easy, but it'd be right there. The straps are canvas and they got a metal tip on them. Now this is something you need to be aware of. Don't be snatching this on and off, because you can slap yourself with these and these hurt, trust me. I had one hanging on a overhead ridgeline one time, and I was down in my hammock and whenever I went to snatch it out of the way, one of these things slapped me in the eye. It is no fun. Along the edge you have a series of grommets where originally an entrenching tool, a bayonet or whatever hung off this side, but you can use this as a place to anchor vertical things like an axe carrier can anchor here to go up and down to be on this side. And on the side you have pass-throughs, 2 pass-throughs that are solidly sewed. So with this I can put a piece of paracord around here to form a loop like this, let's say, soft shackle, to hang a handle of an axe or something off of here, or some other tool. You can do it from top, bottom, and have it go through both loops to hold it. So that's one way of doing it. On the bottom you have 2 long straps that come all the way from the back and are well sewed, and this is so you can put a poncho, a bedroll, or something on the bottom, and these are fairly long straps, so they are big enough for you to easily be able to put a good sized bedroll or something on the bottom of it. So you have a bedroll with a pack on top of it, basically, instead of like thinking of, you know, I put it on my backpack. It's also big enough I could put this on top of a bedroll to carry it, basically. Now, these are metal buckles that hold up extremely well. You just simply lift up a tab. Now some later ones are actually drilled and will have a small piece of cordage or something so you could anchor it in the closed position or whatever. This was early enough. This is like a 67 or something, and so it's earlier than that. You pull it and out come the little tab. Take the strap off. Now our modern click buckles are a lot faster, however I never had any problem with these. Now when you open it up, you'll notice that the basic shape of the bag is not a true cylinder, okay? Think of the back as straight, and then it's sort of like a D shape. It's narrower up here and reinforced, but the bell comes out this way and then tapers back. This keeps it kind of centered and it don't want to bounce as much. Up here on the top you're going to have this liner. Now this allows you to telescope it up here and roll it up so that whenever you are carrying a larger type configuration, the straps would reach, and so you could overstuff this pack in combat, mostly with rations and stuff like that. Most people will simply turn this down to the inside, but I have found it is very useful to take it and put it down to the inside like this, all the way to the bottom, and just use it like a liner on the inside to try to keep things from getting so wet. Now right now I've just got a big poncho stuffed in here. But you get the idea. Okay, there. So you don't have to have that in the way. You can hook it down like this so it just simply rolls to the inside. Now you got quite a bit of cargo capacity in here, and this was easily enough for me to camp for a weekend. One of these and then some sort of bedroll. I could easily attach a hammock or something, fold it up to the bottom, or a tarp of some kind hooked to it, etc. Made for a very, a weekender bag. This does very well. In fact, I keep coming back to this type design. This is about, probably 15 liters capacity or 10 liters capacity. And for an overnighter, this is normally more than sufficient. With this and a bedroll and a, some way of getting off the ground like a hammock was more than sufficient for me. Now here on the back, you have this big wide reinforcing belt that goes around from the front all the way to the back. This is, like I said, where you have your pass-throughs, where you can anchor gear or pass things through. Then you have 2 narrow ones right here. Now what those are for the metal clips, and I'll show you on the other one right quick, like that, the old Alice clips. That's where they just slide underneath there. If you're going to turn this into a pack on a frame, and I had made a Field Expedite frame for this before by simply taking sticks like this and going down through these side holes, anchoring them like this, lashed to here, that would make a frame coming up with this being the butt pack and have a top suspension system. I would then put a crossbar right here between the two and lace paracord or something through that loop to hold it in place on this so it didn't slide up and down the frame. So I've, like I said, made a Field Expedite frame, and we may do that in a future video to show you that. It's not like a ROYCROFT frame you could make for this and have this at the bottom as your cargo capacity, and then put your bedroll or whatever up here on top, just a field expedient. Now these can still serve as a good haversack, really. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. If you want a little bit more capacity and you don't want the classic flat haversack, this is not a bad way to go. And I used these for years as a haversack, as my primary camping gear, food, etc. would go into here. You can put a mess kit in here, you can put a small stove in here, you can put whatever in here. I'm going to be wearing my clothes, just an extra pair of socks in here or something would be about it. And then again, the carrying strap just hooks to the top of it. Super simple. It rides well on the body. It is not one that swings constantly. And the spread of these straps go around the body to keep it kind of central. I learned so much from this haversack when I was designing my Blackbird haversack. A lot of the ways this carried and the features that this had, I rolled over to my design of haversack. Now let's look at the more modern one. This is one you're going to find on surplus today, and it has the modern buckles on it to be easy to open up. Okay, it has a drawstring inside, which is very much like parachute material, and this Condura nylon is very water repellent as opposed to the canvas, which was not. It has a drain hole in the bottom, and the original does not have a drain hole in it. Okay, but this one does have a drain hole in the back bottom. Open it up, and it's the same way. You could roll this to the inside if you wanted to. It is a bigger opening than the original to me, but with this cinch up, that makes sense. You know, it is a little wider in configuration than the original. Here on the sides you have nylon webbing, and you still have the two pass-through, so you can still attach to that side. I think it is just a little bit deeper, maybe by about a ½ inch or so deeper, and it's a little more square, rectangular than the original was. Here on the back you have two short straps that are for attaching to LBE gear and things like that for carrying it. On the upright I now have my two Alice carabiners, and then the strap that's coming up, this short strap, has a pass-through right there. Now this would make it easier to make this into a part of a frame, because since both of these have a pass-through, I can easily take a branch and run it through there like this, through both of them. To have a pole I could then lash to a frame. So I put it this way, and then I would take a pole and come through this pass-through, and you see what I'm saying right there. That would be able to something I can lash, and that can form the basis of a beginning of a frame right there, for this to be more load-bearing. Now, as I said, the bottom has a drain hole, and this is that more waterproof. Now it doesn't gather up, the opening is bigger. However, it does have that cinch cord right there that allows me to pull this up. And this one says Field Pack Training Nylon Woodland Camouflage. I don't see a date right off the top of my head looking at it right there, but I believe these are 1980s, something like that. You just cinch it up, and then you have the adjustment for the buckles, and you can pull these up tight and lock it that way. Now since these also have a buckle down here, it allows you to take these buckles and come up from the bottom to kind of cinch it up a little bit. Now these I believe on this one have been cut. They're too short. I would have personally liked it with the longer ones, and I believe some of the current ones that you can find on the market ain't gonna have that. I believe this particular one, whoever had it before me, because these are kind of cut jagged, I think they cut them short intentionally. But you can use them as sort of a bottom support. You're gonna put a pretty good load in it, like that, and give it some support on the bottom down there against those straps. Like I said, adjustable. and these are adjustable, pulling upward like that. And still the same type, although on this one there are two upper buckles. You have a D-ring buckle right there, and that's what I've hooked the strap to. And then you have this strap that comes up and over the top and does this. It would hook to like an Alice frame or something like that. You could increase this and make this into something that could hold a to a pack frame. Like I said, that thing would come down. I could use this to help secure to a frame, or I could maybe put a bedroll underneath the strap going back between me. It would just depend. But either way, it does a decent job as a surplus haversack. My old original served me for many, many years back in the day, and you can see I finally started giving up the ghost where I got tugged so much. But you know, she'd still serve tomorrow if I wanted to take her out. So, in the ground pounder series, you don't have to invest a lot of money. A simple surplus backpack. Now, one of these old canvas ones, dearly love them. These are available and are adaptable, okay? With those, I can carry enough for an overnighter, because what do I really need? I need a couple of meals, okay? This is for summer type conditions in fairly nice weather. All I need is a tarp over me, some way to sleep, like a hammock or something, a blanket, can be slung as a bedroll or wrapped around the strap. I'll demonstrate that next Friday. I'm going to demonstrate a new tip or trick for you on how to carry a blanket roll on a haversack you probably hadn't seen before. So come back and see that on Down and Dirty Friday. And just, you know, some of my most basic gear, I only need this much, you know, because I'm going out here to sleep in the woods. It's a small camp. It's a scout. So with that could be my complete sleep system, food system, and everything. And then my regular, like my Blackbird haversack, will handle all my bushcraft needs. Those two bags will handle everything for a weekend or even a 2 or 3 day, depending on what we're doing, camp out in good weather. Something simple. Now, in the future videos, we're going to go out, and the next one we'll go to the woods, we're going to be doing poncho shelters, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to set up a poncho shelter for summer, for fall, and for a deep winter. There'll be slightly changes in the gear and how we're carrying them, what we're going to do, but it does not have to be expensive. You just got to know the tips and tricks. Hope you enjoy it. If you've enjoyed this video, guys, please leave a thumbs up. And if you've got a question or something, please comment below. I love to hear from you. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.